Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Ito si Christian at pag-uusapan na naman natin ngayon ay ang usapang crypto. Crypto Talks at ngayon, I'm bringing back a guest that's in high demand. Dahil nung time na ginawa namin itong video na to, bumagsak ang Bitcoin down to 76,000. At yung iba sinasabi, parang marunong na, magaling na trader to dahil na-predict niya yung pagbagsak. Let's welcome back Tito Vlogs, Gilbert. What's up, Tito?
Yun! Thank you for inviting me again. Natatandaan ko yung last guesting ko. I think yung price ng Bitcoin was 94,000.
About where it is.
Yeah, bumagsak na 74. Ngayon, we are at 94,000.
Oo, nakabalik ka na, bumalik na rin yung presyo ng Bitcoin.
Yes.
Grabe. Pero alam mo, Tito, nung time na nangyari yun, na pinag-uusapan natin yun, naalala ko, I was all in on Bitcoin. At dahil sa'yo, I actually I sold 30% of my position. So nag-take profit ako, 30% take profit. At 90, nag-100 plus pa ata nun before siya bumagsak eh. I took profit at about 103,000. 30% of my stock. Tapos ngayon na bumagsak na, bumalik na naman tayo. It's all because of you. Ngayon, alam mo, nung nakita ng mga tao yung video mo, a lot of people were saying, wow, ang galing mo, na-predict mo yan. Did you know what was going to happen? Or did you have a feeling? Ano ba yun? Kasi it was almost like a black swan event kung tutuusin yung pagbagsak eh.
Yeah, it was siguro when you are experienced enough sa market, mararamdaman mo yung mga signs eh. No? So it's more of a gut feel, isa yon na makikita mo na posibleng mag-correct yung market dahil nauna na siyang umakyat before nung inauguration ni Donald Trump. So that's one. Number two, sa technicals naman. So pag tumingin ka sa chart, sa technical analysis, when you draw a parallel channel, I explained this last time also, and even on my channel, pinapakita ko yung parallel channel na yan. Yung top talaga is around that level, around 110. So, tapos i-timing mo pa yung pag-upo ni Donald Trump, no, and all the tariffs and all. So, may chance talaga na mag-correct yung market, na bumagsak yung market. So, siguro, pag you are experienced enough na nakakita ka na ng paano pinapump yung market, paano dinadump yung market, made-develop mo yung gut feel na yun eh.
Pero nung time na yun, hindi pa ginawa ni Donald Trump yung pagpapump and dump niya. Yung Trump and dump na ginagawa niya when we were talking that time. And then after that, that's when he did that whole flip-flopping on the tariffs that caused the market to react. At yung pabagsak ng market, yung dalawang beses niya dineclare yung tariffs. Yung una against Canada and Mexico, bumagsak. Tapos nag-flip-flop siya doon. Di ba? Nag-30-day na suspension siya. Tapos mamaya ng konti, worldwide tariff na. Bumagsak. Tapos sinabi naman niya after that is 90-day suspension, market went up. I mean, nobody could have predicted. Who predicts Trump? He's so unpredictable. Kaya nga tinawag ko sa kanya Black Swan eh.
Yeah, nobody can really predict yung galawan niya eh. So, ako kasi, I look at the macro, kung ano nangyayari dun sa kabuuan with technicals pa rin. Ano? So, ang main guide ko talaga is the technical analysis and then the macro. Ano yung kabuuan. So, prior to the top of Bitcoin ng 109,000, there were already signs na America will go into recession. Prior to that.
Okay.
No? So, isa doon is the inverted yield curve na ginagamit ko. That was a sign. So I discussed that on my channel mga first quarter pala ng 2024. And then other signs, yung nagbebenta yung mga billionaires ng shares of stocks nila like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos. No, these are crumbs na makikita mo na hindi mo siya mapapansin kung hindi ka masyadong familiar doon sa galaw nitong mga to. Jamie Dimon. No? So mga first quarter pa lang, majority of their shares binenta nila. Okay? They were into cash. Even Berkshire Hathaway.
Yes.
Maraming cash. So, pag tinahi mo yon plus yung inverted yield curve, so makaka-formulate ka ng probably hindi naman talaga prediction, pero makaka-develop ka ng bias mo dun sa market na meron alam itong mga to na hindi natin alam kasi bakit sila into cash?
Yes.
So yun yung isa rin sa basis na pwedeng mag-collapse yung market during that time.
Okay. Pero at the same time naman, right now, where we're at, 90-day suspension, where do you think this is going? Because the last time sabi mo sa akin nga, yun na nga, and you still hold that, I don't know if you still hold that thesis na we're in a recession right now. Let's discount the Trump factor. Do you still think we're in a recession, or do you think, do you still think that the bull cycle is over?
Okay. First, yung last data ng US sa GDP nila was already negative. Technically, dapat 2 quarter eh. 2 consecutive quarters na negative GDP, nasa technical recession ka. So wala pa talaga sa technical recession.
Okay.
So that's one. So but the early signs are there already. Katulad ng mga sinabi ko nga kanina, di ba? So second, are we tapos na ba yung bull market? Ito yung lagi ko sinasabi. Hindi pa tapos. Nasa bull market pa rin tayo.
Okay.
Nasa bull market pa rin tayo.
Okay.
Pero I think we are at the tail end ng bull market.
Okay.
So nandun tayo sa tail end. Wala pa tayo sa bear market. So,
Okay.
nandun tayo probably sa tail end ng bull market. If you're going to take a look, balikan ko yung technicals, no? Yung last cycle natin, nagkaroon tayo ng double top.
Okay.
Yung market natin nag-double top. First top was April 2021, and then 7 months later,
Yes.
November, another top that was 69,000. So 63 yung first top, and then the second top, which was considered double top, was after 7 months, which was November 2021.
Yes.
No? So, ngayon, nung tinitignan ko sa technicals, kailan tayo nag-top?
December yun, di ba?
December.
Tapos, January yung second top.
Second top. Okay. Yung pag zoom in, pag zoom out mo yan, you can consider that yung December, January na halos one top. Isang top
I was
lang yan.
gonna say, pwedeng consider
Pwedeng
na one.
isang top yon. So let's say January ka talaga technically nag-top yung market. So kung titignan ko yung pattern, I'll count another 7 months from January, probably mga June or July, we'll see another top.
That early, you think?
Possible. With all the signs, no, balikan natin yung negative quarter ng GDP.
Yeah.
Si Trump, di ba, 90-day pause siya ng
So, timing mo siya sa
tariff.
90 days.
90 days. So, nakaka-30 days na tayo. Yata, no? More or less, may mga 60 days pa
Yes.
tayo kung ano pa yung gagawin niya. Given all of these uncertainties sa market, I think it's not the right, for me, I think it's not the right time to be aggressive in the market pag may ganitong uncertainty So yun tinitignan ko. I could totally be wrong. Kasi madami nagpe-predict ng 250, nagpe-predict ng 400. Di ba? So, I was a victim last cycle kasi ng mga ganung predictions.
Yes.
So, actually, at 63,70,000, yun yung nakikita ko na top. Pero may mga napipredict the stock to flow model, yung mga lalo na yung mga nasa US na alam ko naman mas magagaling sa atin. No? Sabi lang, they're saying 250 last cycle.
Yep.
So I was hoping 250, even though my chart is telling me that the top is around 70,000. So, meaning to say, nung time na yun, sabi ko, I was a victim, sumakay pa ako. I'm hoping na aabot siya ng 250. And ang masakit last cycle, ang nangyari, altcoins yung karamihan ng sinakyan ko during the second leg. During the second leg. Yung first leg, majority was Bitcoin
Yes.
Tapos nag-correct. Nung nag-correct siya, sabi ko, altcoins naman ako. Sakay ako sa altcoins. All the way hanggang November, December. So, yun yung lesson na natutunan ko last cycle na in-apply ko this cycle. Kaya this cycle, I made it a point na mag-take profit.
Yep.
Okay? Even kasi alam ko na somehow we are near the tail end of the bull market. I don't know how high can this market go. This can go this can still go 120, maybe 120, maybe 200. But para sa akin as a trader, once na nagplano ka and you execute it, nag-take ka ng profit, wala ka ng talo sa market
Yes.
Wala ka ng talo because for me, I can easily scale back sa market if I think merong good reason for me to be aggressive again.
Okay.
So ngayon nandun ako sa defensive mode muna eh.
Yep,
So
but-
hindi pa ako nagsuswitch. So as you were asking kanina, baka nag-switch na ako. Sabi, hindi pa, nandun pa rin ako sa defensive mode pa rin eh.
Yes, okay. So naka-standby ka lang.
Naka-standby lang.
Tinitigan mo where it's possibly gonna go. Pero once it moves up, sasama ka muna.
I still don't know. Kasi
Okay.
nandun pa rin ako sa camp na the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin is still there.
Right.
Which a lot of people are thinking na there will be a bear market in 2026. So, tatahiin natin yon 2026, a possible bear market, then a possible recession,
Right.
etc. Di ba? And then uncertainty pa rin dun sa market. So, malaki yung likelihood na by 2026, baka down yung market eh.
Yeah.
So, yun yung pinaghahandaan ko. Ngayon, paano kung hindi nangyari, di ba? So, yun nga sinasabi ko na I can easily scale back. Let's say, for example, ang ganda ng US economy. Biglang zero lahat ng tariff. Di ba? Let's say, for example, batina. Nag-shake hands na yung China at
Yes.
saka yung US. Wala nang away.
Yep.
Batina, wala na yung gera sa Ukraine. Wala na. Peaceful na yung buong mundo.
Yep.
Di ba? So, maybe, I can scale back.
Pag may certainty na.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, tinitingnan ko muna macro eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? Macro. Kasi, yung market naman, hindi naman yan dediretso na aakyat na dediretso.
Yep.
It will always have a pullback. Lagi yan magbibigay ng opportunity para sa makasakay ka, makapasok ka.
Tama.
So, you don't need to chase it eh. So, maybe if gumanda na economy, let's say, umabot tayo ng 200. It
Aha.
pulls back at 120. I can buy it back at 120. I can buy it back at 150.
Right.
Diba?
Okay.
So may ganung plan
Yes.
pa rin, no? Of course, I'll be buying higher than the price that I sold, but it's okay because I know that the market can still go up.
Right.
Mas maganda yung probability for me,
Yep.
as a position trader. Yeah.
Even if you, tinitignan ko nga yun, even let's say if it goes up to 180,000, let's say in this cycle, 180. And I think probably the way it's looking, that might be optimistic, Pag umabot ng 180, and then it pulls back the usual 60-70% for Bitcoin, they'll take it back down to about 60 plus, the previous all-time high. So, kahit na paano, kung ma-miss mo, sabihin natin umakyat lang siya to 120, and then bumagsak na, it can go back to about 60, 70,000. So there is an opportunity. Even if it just goes to 75,000, that's still a good opportunity to come in. Anything below 100. So kaya okay lang kahit magantay ka till 2026. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Sige. I won't rush to get in. I was going to buy it. Pero now that I talk to you, baka hindi mo na ako bibili. Pero meron pa naman ako. Nakabalik na rin naman ako into Bitcoin at about 77 nung bili ko nun eh. So I'm okay. Pero now kasi nga, tinitingnan ko tong market na to. Yun nga yung tingin ko na parang the question about the recession, I also think it's about 2026 coinciding with the Bitcoin halving cycle. So ang maganda dito is 2026, bagsak na naman siya, and probably 2027. And then by 2020, before, maybe this time, by late 2027, biglang magpa-pump na naman yan eh. Before the 2028 halving. And at the same time, ito yung gusto ko lang tanungin sa'yo, when you talk about the tariffs going to zero and everything, first, do you think ba it will go to zero or no?
I don't think.
Tingin mo lalaban si Trump all the way?
Lalaban all the way. And even China is not backing down. Even China is not backing down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pero at the same time, ito naman napansin ko ngayon, parang nag-decouple na yung Bitcoin from stocks. A little bit.
Yes. A little bit. Yeah, that's true. So maganda yung performance ng Bitcoin eh. Kasi even if the stock market is going down, si
Yup.
Bitcoin was steady. When the stock market rebounded, si Bitcoin nag-rally going
Yes.
up. Diba? So, ang ganda ng performance ni Bitcoin when you compare it to the US stock market.
Yes.
So, kasi nga, nung bumababa, hindi siya apektado.
Yes, hindi nga.
Hindi siya apektado. But, kapag yung macro, yung kabuuan ng economy is really bad, all of these assets will be on sale. Even gold.
Yes.
But one good thing that I noticed sa Bitcoin, even during the pandemic, 2020, diba? It went down to, I think that was from 10,000, it went back to 4,800 if I'm not mistaken. So almost a 50%, more than a 50% correction. Pero after 3 days, bumalik eh. So siya din yung pinakamabilis bumalik.
Yes.
Siya din yung pinakamabilis bumalik sa lahat ng mga assets. So yun ang maganda sa kanya. So even if, let's say you're in the market right now and inabutan ka ng technical recession, nagkaroon ng panic selling, magdadrop yan, pero mabilis yan papalik eh. Yun ang kagandahan doon sa Bitcoin. Oo.
Okay.
kaya kumbaga, kung nasa spot ka, you're holding it, and you're not naman rushing to cash in.
Yep.
Diba? Let's say, kasi nga, sabi ko nga, Bitcoin is for wealth creation. If you want to create wealth, you just hodl Bitcoin. If you do not know how to trade, kasi marami yung mga newbies gustong pumasok sa Bitcoin, ano. So kung hindi ka marunong mag-trade, hindi ka marunong mag-technical analysis pa dahil bago ka, ang kailangan mo lang gawin is habaan mo yung time horizon mo eh.
Yes.
Yun lang. That's the only thing that you can do. Diba? Kasi when you hold it and just wait for 4 years or 5 years, at least one cycle, the price will still be more compared to the
Yes.
time that you bought it. Eh. But there was never a time sa history ng Bitcoin na yung price niya was lower 5 years ago.
Yes.
So
Totoo yan.
yun yung panlaban mo kapag ka nasa spot ka ng Bitcoin eh. So even magkamali ka, yung isang bull cycle lang, pwede kang
Kumita ka ng malaki.
yes.
Totoo yun.
Pwede kang makalabas ng buhay, yun ang maganda.
As a matter of fact, tingin ko nga, that if you compare a hodler, yung somebody who just holds, versus a trader, parang I think the hodler will come out on top more often than not compared to most traders.
Yes, if you do not know how to trade, it's better to hodl.
Right.
Yun. Kasi there are traders naman that are really good in not
Yup.
really timing the market, but scaling back, scaling out, scaling up, scaling back no, sa market. So yun naman, they can also make profit from it eh. Without, kasi meron tayong tinatawag na risk on, risk off eh. No? So
Yes.
pag nakikita mo na you have to risk off, so you have to sell some. So, but if you do not know that thing, ang pinamabilis lang is just to hodl.
Okay, pero Bitcoin right now, para sa akin, parang it's starting to be somewhere in between risk on and risk off, especially with its movement nung nangyari in the recent months when it decoupled from the stocks. So nagmumukha siyang risk off asset na ngayon eh, parang gold, risk off asset in a way. What's your take on this?
Meron akong theory na I think, di ba nag-collapse yung stock market ng US. They went, Nasdaq and S&P 500 went down, corrected more than 20% eh. So, wala pa naman din sila sa technical recession kasi kailangan 2 months naman na nandoon ka sa negative 20% for a technical recession technical bear market sa stock market, sa US stock market. So, wala pa din naman. But I think, nung nag-drop yan because dun sa mga tweets ni Trump, no,
Yes.
nagkagulatan. So, may theory ako na itong pump na to, may mga lumalabas dito. May mga nagtitake profit dito. Yes, meron akong ganyan theory na tingin ko, itong pump, kaya pinapump para may mga kalabas kasi nagkagulatan, may mga naipit na funds dun sa taas.
So tingin mo may nagte-take profit na ngayon. So where do you think it's going? It's at 94.6. So umakyat na since we were speaking. Do you think ba it could drop in the coming weeks or let's say for the month of May? Where do you think it's going to be?
I think 100K is a strong resistance.
Okay.
100K will be a strong resistance. There will be a lot of profit taking dyan sa area na yan. Kanina nung tinecheck ko yung chart ng Bitcoin, it's in the immediate short term, it's creating a upward parallel channel. So paakyat siya because we broke the 96K level,
Yes.
which was the previous support turned into resistance and then we broke it eh.
Right.
So ang next resistance natin will be 100K. Ngayon we're backing down below. So we're retesting that 96K,
Yes.
nasa 94 tayo, 94K level tayo. There's still a probability na mahit natin yung near 100K. Pautakan kasi to Chris. So, pag sinabi mo 100K, yung iba 99 pala.
Right, unahan ka na.
Unahan ka na
Doon, okay.
Pautakan So, it's really wise na kung you have a position in Bitcoin, isipin mo kung anong play yung lalaruin mo
Right.
Lagi mong babalikan, ano ba tong purpose ko kung bakit ko binili tong Bitcoin? Long-term hodling ba? Or sinuswing ko lang ba siya? Let's say, ikaw sabi mo, you bought at 77, di ba? Ano ba yung purpose mo nung binili mo yan ng 77? Are you going to swing it? Di ba? Kasi now, it's 94
Right.
Then you're profiting. So, syempre, if you're going to swing it, you have to take profit. Ganun lang naman
Right.
siya. But if you're planning to hodl, kahit na umabot pa ng 120 yan, you don't need to trade it. You don't need to
Yes.
sell it. Even if it went back again to 70, you don't need to do anything because your plan is to hodl.
Yes.
So, ang importante lagi is ano yung plano mo, and kung ano man yung plano mo, depende kung ano man yung gagawin ng Bitcoin, gawin mo yung plano mo.
Yes.
Plan your trade and trade your plan.
Ooh, I like that. Okay. Tapos ano pa, isa pang tanong ko is that time kasi, when you're looking at Bitcoin, right now, we're at this, parang resistance nga to, nakikita ko. At one point, it was the resistance Ngayon, it's a support level na Pag bumagsak to, then it's gonna keep trading down, the way it looks. I think, and binanggit mo kanina that you think that the top could be as early as June. I actually think, pag tinignan mo historically, kasi parang May and June has always been a bad month.
There is this theory na sell in May and walk away sa stock market. Have you heard
sa
that?
stock market,
Sell in
okay.
May and walk away. So may ganon. Dami mga rhymes no? Plan your trade your plan, sell in May and walk
Right.
away. Okay, sa stock market, nung bago ko, hindi ko rin naiintindihan, ano ba yung sell in May and walk away na yan? Okay. So, ang explanation pala doon, kasi yung mga fund managers, nagve-vacation kasi summer in the US No? So, nagbabakasyon yung mga fund managers in the US.
Okay.
Kaya manipis yung volume.
Okay.
So, during the month of May, dun sila lumalabas. So, dati, nung bago ko, ang misconception ko ay pag May bagsak kasi sell in May and walk away.
Right.
Okay? Pero, ang nangyayari is because these funds managers wants to sell, so they want to sell at what? A lower price or a higher price?
Higher.
A higher price. So, that's why during the month of May, the price is going up.
Okay.
So, punta ka ng June, July, August. August is a ghost month.
Right.
Diba? So, kung mapapansin mo, yan yun. Pag dating mo ng August, ghost month, ang tumal na naman ng market.
Yes.
September, sideways. Tapos meron tayong wake me up when September ends. Di ba? May
Yun.
ganun din sa Bitcoin. Yung parang durug na durug ka na.
I love
Naalala
the
mo yung
song.
mga yan.
Oo nga, no?
Di ba?
That's
Parang
a good reminder.
Majority of the time, pag month ng September, durug na yung Bitcoin.
Yes.
Ayaw gumalaw. Yung parang gusto mo na matapos yung month ng
Oo.
September. Kaya wake me up when September ends.
Oh my God.
Tapos there will be a Santa Claus rally ng last quarter.
Yup.
So, yun yung cycle
So, okay. So, in that case, kasi ako ang plano ko, I'm gonna wait till that last quarter. After the last quarter, I'm gonna be out the 30%. I'll be out. I'll just wait for the 2026 to come back in. In the meantime, I'm gonna put it in a fixed money interest yield. Hayaan ko muna yan. Tapos pag ready na, balik ako by, say, mga June of 2026. Yun ang target ko, mga June, July of 2026. So ngayon, moving forward naman, paano naman yung tingin mo sa mga alt markets natin ngayon? Kasi my God, alam mo ba, I got out of Cardano. Yun ang isa. I'm out. Completely out. Sold at 81. And I'm like, done. I'm done with this. Pagod na ako sa alts Sobrang, para kahit anong gawin mo, hindi na nga bumabalik. Ethereum nga hindi pa rin.
Ethereum, ang layo pa rin.
Layo, $1,800 ang Ethereum if I remember correctly. Solana, not bad. So, what's your take on the alt market right now? Especially the big ones I'm not even gonna talk about the meme coins kasi sobrang dami naman nila na walang kwenta.
Alright, so tinitignan ko din yung chart ng mga alts, no? Especially yung mga alts na hinawakan ko last
Right.
time, no? So, Ethereum, nung chinek ko yung price ng Bitcoin, last week of February, Bitcoin was around this level, 94 to 96, last week of February. Ethereum was around 2,800.
Oh my God!
But Ethereum now is just 1,800. So,
Oh
di ba,
my
ang layo
God,
niya
ang
talaga.
layo.
Ang layo niya.
my God.
Ang nakasunod lang sa alts na nakita ko
Wow.
was SUI, ang nakasunod sa price ng Bitcoin na nung nag-pump, no? Yung level ng February tsaka ng Bitcoin, yun din yung level ng SUI ngayon.
Okay.
So yun nakasunod. XRP medyo sumusunod yan. May konti na lang, maaabot niya na yung level niya nung last week ng February. Solana also, medyo maganda yung performance. So, selected talaga yung money flow na pumupunta
Oh my God.
sa,
Okay.
sa alts, no? So sabi mo, wag ko nang itakal yung meme coin. Doon lang tayo sa major, no?
Oh.
So, but I guess yung attention kasi talaga ngayon is nasa Bitcoin. Okay?
Wow.
Pag tinignan mo, ako ang analysis ko, a lot of people kasi are waiting for the ultimate alt season na tinitignan nila, no? Similar to last cycle na, grabe, last cycle, lahat genius eh. Lahat na mag-predict, tama eh. Di ba? Kahit nakapikit
Tama
ka,
eh,
tama.
oo.
Kahit pala ka mag-predict, tatama eh. Last cycle, ang saya nun eh. Halos lahat ng alts talaga lumipad. It's because of liquidity.
Yes.
Di ba? It's because of liquidity. Pero nung nag-monetary tightening na tayo, nagtaas na ng interest rate, nakita mo na unti-unti, di ba? Nag-shrink yung liquidity. Tapos yung altcoins naman, dumami.
Yes.
So nag-shrink yung liquidity mo, dumami yung altcoins mo, ang daming iikutan ng pera.
Yes.
Okay? Konti na nga lang yung umiikot na pera sa crypto.
Tapos ang dami pang choices. Oo.
So yun ang nangyari sa alts. Kaya inaantay natin lahat kung andyan na ba yung alt season. So I think hindi natin sa ngayon not unless we do the money printing again and we reduce the interest rates again, etc. No? I think doon lang tayo ulit makakita ng ultimate alt season.
Pero yung M2 money supply, I remember if I looked at it, naalala ko parang may nakita akong chart na mataas siya ngayon. It's actually gone up dramatically.
Yes, the global
Yes, the global money
the
M2.
global money supply last time that I checked, sinasabi nila kasi the price of Bitcoin
Yes.
the price of Bitcoin is lagging by 90 days.
yeah.
Dun sa chart ng global money supply. But you have to understand, yes, paakyat yung chart ng global money supply, pero we haven't breached the top.
Okay.
Ibig sabihin, yung top natin probably nung 2022 when there's a
Okay.
massive quantitative easing,
Yep.
printing of money, hindi pa natin nare-reach eh. So, meaning to say, yung money supply mo ngayon, even if pataas siya, wala pa rin siya dun sa level nung 2020, 2022.
Okay.
Ang dami mong alts.
Okay.
So, ang dami mong alts. So, yun yung isa. Yun yung isa.
Huh. Okay. So ngayon, sige. So for people that are in the alt market, what do you recommend? Stay? Get out? Switch to bit? Kasi ako, I said na before, I'm saying it again, I only trade Bitcoin now. And gold. I actually trade gold and Bitcoin. And meron akong nilalaro na on leverage naman. So a portion is spot, and then meron akong portion on leverage. I don't want to trade alts right now. Wala na talaga. I'm tired of alts. Do you think ba there's still hope for the alt market? And if there is, which alts would you pick?
Yung alt market, you have to be very selective eh. You have to be very selective.
Okay.
And right now, sa sobrang dami ng choices, ang hirap mamili. Kasi kailangan mo talaga mag-research eh.
Okay.
And minsan, before you know it, nakalipad na. Pag hinabol mo, correction na.
Right.
So, I have to admit, hindi ako magaling mag-pick ng alts.
Okay.
Kaya
Okay.
yung portfolio ko, nakafocus din on Bitcoin. But if there is an alt na halimbawa, nagustuhan ko, research ko, and then I see yung chart maganda, pinapasok ko. Like for example, last cycle, yung tinitignan ko kasi nauuna ako dun sa narrative eh. Last 2024, January 2024, yung Ondo during that time was
Yes.
just trading at 25 cents eh. And nabasa ko yung RWA na narrative. So sabi ko, okay, mukhang okay to. Maganda sakyan to narrative na to. Tapos, alam mong simula yung bull market natin eh. Di ba? So, medyo, kumbaga, pag tinignan mo yung risk to reward ratio, yung ano niya, yung macroeconomy, yung galaw ng Bitcoin, dyan na yung pa-approve yung Bitcoin ETF, bull market tayo eh. So sabi ko, pwede ko sakyan to. So we bought, sa community ko, nandun sa average na 25 to 50 cents eh. And then we sold mga 180, some of them sold at
Nice.
180, nasa ganon. So yun lang yung isa sa mga, meron din isa yung token, BGB na token, because I used to trade with BGB before na token. So yun lang yung ilan, pero I'm not really good. Ang dami kong mga na-miss
Right.
Okay, XRP,
Yeah.
Solana, yan yung mga yan yung mga the one that got away ko.
Well, I don't think naman kasi
hindi ako magaling sa alts.
Hindi mo naman talaga makukuha lahat, tingin ko. Ako naman kasi naabutan ko yung Solana. Hindi ko napuntahan yung Ondo naman. What's the price of Ondo now?
I think it's 90 cents.
Okay.
90
So it's
cents.
still pretty good if
It's
you think
still
about
pretty
it.
good.
Oo. Okay. Nabanggit mo kanina yung risk-reward ratio. That risk-reward ratio, is that more qualitative or is that more quantitative as an indicator or as an analysis tool?
Ako ginagawa ko siya more on qualitative eh. When I say yung risk to reward ratio, again, tinitingnan ko muna yung kabuuan, the macro. Okay? So for example, nasa bear market tayo and there's already certainty na nasa bear market tayo. Okay? And then all lahat na ng bad news naglabasa na. The price is steady, it's not going down, etc. If it goes down, hindi na masyado. Yun, makapansin mo yun eh. So, maganda mag-risk nung pag ganun yung time ng market eh. Maganda mag-risk. Meaning to say, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy some alts na na-research mo. Kasi during that time, yun yung depress yung mga presyo.
Yes, okay.
Diba? So, and then, after that, after all of this negative news, susunod naman dyan, mga good news na. So, akit na ulit yung market. Papunta ka na ng bull market. So, pag makita mo yung laro ng cycle na yan, even in the stock market, ganyan eh, bull and bear cycle eh.
Yep.
Makita mo yan, you just have to be patient na maantay mo yung talagang depressed na yung market.
Okay.
So pag ganon, maganda mag-risk.
Yes.
Maganda mag-risk, di ba?
Okay, so it's really qualitative nga. Hindi siya yung parang exact computation na tinitignan mo when you talk about risk-reward ratio.
Yes.
Okay. Kasi I'm sure people are asking, baka akala na may tinitignan kang chart for risk-reward for Bitcoin. Hindi yun ang ibig sabihin.
Yeah, hindi yan.
Okay, sige. So, as an experienced trader, no, do you recommend ba leverage trading for people? Kasi marami akong alam, nagle-leverage trade. Pero parang sinabi nga sa akin nung isang guest natin, si George Sibal, yung si Z-Freaks.
Napanood ko. Kagabi, pinanood ko.
Oo, sabi niya kasi na yun na nga, napansin nga niya na when it comes to leverage traders, 1 out of 10 are that remain, 9 out of 10 fail. Ngayon, hindi ko alam kung nakaka-depress ba yan. Parang, do you experience that with your community? Ano yung success rate ng mga leverage traders compared to spot traders? What's your take on this?
Very risky ang leverage trading.
Okay.
It's not for the newbies. Not for the new traders.
Okay.
So, kailangan, una, may experience ka na sa market.
Okay.
Naiintindihan mo na. So, because it's very risky, kasi nga, pwede ka ma-liquidate. Okay? Pero, it's also a very rewarding tool kung alam mo gamitin ng tama. Okay? Kasi, majority of the traders papasok. Even nung bago ko sa leverage, natutunan ko yung leverage, I think 2021 or 2022 lang eh. So, nung bago ko, nung una, takot din ako kasi natatakot ako ma-liquidate eh. So, pero, wala eh. Nakuha ko mag-leverage. So, wala magawa kundi aralin siya.
Yes.
Okay? So, syempre, doon sa pag-aaral ko, dami ko mga na-discover. Ang dami kong losses. Kasama doon sa losses na yun, yung mga discoveries ng mga strategies. Okay? Sa leverage trading, so kung wala kang experience, you completely avoid it. Okay? Doon ka lang muna sa spot. Tignan mo muna yung galaw ng market. Okay? Ngayon, if you want to dive into leverage, ang una-una laging tinitignan sa leverage is the size of your lot.
Right.
Okay? Yung position size mo. Sa leverage trading, ang priority mo is risk management. Okay? Second tool mo dyan is technical analysis.
Okay.
Kasi ang leverage trading, mabilisan yan eh.
Yep.
Hindi mo pwede i-huddle yung Bitcoin mo dyan. May funding fee fee
Yes.
dyan eh, di ba? Not unless you're trading with Xness dyan sa suot mo. Walang
Walang funding fee. O
Oo.
they hindi naman sa wala, they shoulder the funding fee.
Yeah, they shouldered the funding
Oo.
fee, di ba? So, hindi meaning to say, short term eh. Pagka short term ka, dapat marunong ka din mag-technical analysis
Right.
eh. So, risk management, number 1. Number 2, technical analysis. Number 3, fundamentals. Alam mo yung mga posibleng mangyari. But most of the time, yung crypto kasi, especially yung altcoins, makita mo naman yung galaw talaga niyan. Kahit magkamali ka ng isa dyan,
Yup, ubos
liquidated ka, di ba? Tama yung bias mo. Ito yung realization ko eh, especially sa alts, no? Tama yung bias mo. Alam mo na aakyat yung market. Yun nga lang, gusto mo ka munang i-liquidate. Kukunin ka muna, kuklose yung position mo, tapos aakyat.
Yes.
Majority of the time, nangyari sa akin yan.
Yes.
Nangyari sa akin yan. That is why, naka-formulate din ako ng strategy ko kung paano nga ako magle-leverage. So, I realized that in playing leverage, you don't need a lot of tokens. You only need one asset na ima-master. Kasi mabilisan yung trade eh.
Yup.
Di ba? So, hindi mo kailangan ng 10 altcoins. For me, hindi ko kailangan ng 10 altcoins. Kailangan ko lang ng isa na mamasterin ko kung paano siya gumalaw in relation sa technicals, in relation to news, etc. So ngayon, ang tinetrade ko using leverage is gold. So nakafocus ako on my active trading using leverage sa gold.
Okay.
Yun. Kaya sabi ko, Bitcoin is for wealth creation. Yung active trading, yung gold trading na naka-leverage is for income generation. So yung kita mo from leverage trading ng gold, pwede kong ibudega ngayon sa Bitcoin. Pwede kong ipamposition ngayon sa Bitcoin.
Okay.
So may extra income ka ngayon.
Okay.
So yan.
Okay.
Another thing, kapag mag-leverage kayo, importante din na naka-align yung goal mo dun sa skill level mo.
Okay.
Okay? Kasi marami sa social media, you're going to see yung post na 200%, 300%,
Right.
di ba? Yun yung wow! Yun yung nakaka-wow eh. Pagka newbie ka, paano nila nagagawa yan?
Yes.
Di ba? Pero syempre, majority of these traders, mga experienced traders na.
Yep.
Di ba? So, minsan, they can really do it. So, kung ikaw, bago ka, you don't expect na kasing galing ka kagad nila eh.
Yes.
So, kailangan, medyo i-ground mo yung sarili mo na, kung sila nakakakuha ng 100%, sige, ako okay na ako sa 5%. Muna.
Right.
Okay? At the very least nga, if you're a new sa leverage trading, your primary goal is not to lose money.
Yep.
Diba? And you know what's the best way? Ito tinuturo ko eh. What's the best way not to lose money in practicing leverage? Use a demo account.
Yes.
Use a demo account. Kasi doon pala makikita mo na yung galaw eh. Kita mo, ganito pala gumagalaw tong gold. Kapag ka pala may non-farm payroll, grabe pala yung candles niya. So, pag hindi mo alam yon, sumaya ka kagad ng real money, magugul ka, malulula ka eh.
Yes. So, okay. Okay, interesting yung mga insights mo dito. I wanted to ask you, right now, okay, so you're a fairly profitable trader. Do you declare? Do you ever show your profits to anyone, or do you share your trades to your community and show them magkano talaga kinikita mo?
I do.
You
Meron akong copy trading. Just active trading ko. I have a copy trading kasi na actively trade ko yung funds na yon. That's a 3 strategy. So, kung nakakopy sila sa akin, makikita nila magkano yung profit, ilang percent yung profit, magkano
Okay.
yung profit, ano ako nagtitrades, makikita mo yon. Kung natalo ba, nanalo ba, makikita mo. So yun ang maganda eh. Sa community ko kasi, pinapakopy ko yung trades ko
Okay.
So, meron yan. They can go to my website, titovlogs.tv, tapos merong makikita ka doon na gold active trading. So, nandun din how we're going to copy.
I see. Na pwede mo i-copy trade na lang yung gold.
Oo, pwede mo i-copy trade.
Pero leverage yun, di ba?
Leverage yun.
Okay.
So, may risk
pag
yun.
copy trade, eksakto yung trade sa'yo in terms of lot size, yung position size mo, margin, lahat eksakto. Right? So,
Yes.
but it's a question like the amount. For example, if you're trading $1,000, they only want to trade 100. So it'll customize it to your size. Tama, di ba?
Yes, that's called coefficient ratio.
O coefficient ratio. Okay, yun pala tawag doon.
Yes. So, halimbawa, ang capital ko, $2,000. Ikaw, $200 lang. And I entered and opened a position na 1% of my capital. So, ikaw din, mag-open ka ng position mo ng 1% of your capital.
Okay. Automatic.
Yes.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
coefficient siya. So, hindi matatakot yung copy trader. Kasi, meron ako na-try na platform before sa crypto. Halimbawa, $2,000 yung capital ko, no? Nag-open ako, for example, ng $200 na capital, na trade.
Right.
Tapos yung nakakopy sa akin, ang capital niya $200. Siya din mag-open na 200.
Patay tayo
Patay yun.
dyan.
Sunog na siya. Ako hindi pa.
Yes, of course.
Diba? So, dito sa platform na gamit ko, may coefficient, kaya nagustuhan ko siya eh. Kasi, lalo na ako, di ba? Everyday nakikita nila ako because I have a show, yung Crypto Live Pilipinas. Yes. I'm doing live stream. Everyday nakikita nila ako eh. So, sasabihin nila, Tito, kinopya kita, nasunog. Di ba? So, kailangan kong i-protect yung mga copiers eh.
Okay. Ngayon, so let's talk about profit. So you're fairly profitable. I saw nga na you bought your daughter a BYD.
Oh.
Wow! Ano yung BYD Seal? Sea Lion?
Sea Lion 6 SL6.
Yung siya, no? Yung hybrid.
Yes,
wow,
yes.
At least you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. Or your daughter's enjoying your fruits of your labor.
Yes, that was my birthday gift to her. 18th birthday niya noong May 2 eh.
Wow! Nako, ang saya niya. No,
ang saya niya. Siya nakakubra ng profit eh.
Pero before that, you were in Europe for a month?
For about 20 days yata.
20 days.
20
Kumusta
days.
naman yun?
Masarap, maganda rin. Masarap paminsan-minsan nagbabakasyon din.
Oo.
Especially with the family, no? Kasi alam mo sa age ko, konting lakad na lang eh. Hanggat kaya ng tuhod eh. Kasi yun ang kagandahan sa sa trading Yun ang discovery ko na nung natuto ako mag-trade and then nakita ko na I can do this even if I'm already 60, 65, 70. As long as kaya kong pumindot ng buy and sell, kaya akong mag-analyze. Kasi may system na ako na ginawa which is yung TIPI, yung Dito Price Action Indicator. So I have a system na So sabi ko kahit 70 ako, kaya kong mag-trade. Meaning to say, I can still make money from the market even if I'm 70. So, yung kumbaga, I get to enjoy now yung mga profits ko sa trading kasi hindi ako nagwo-worry na in the future baka wala na.
Right.
'Di ba? So yun ang kagandahan sa trading. Hindi mo iisipin na paano pagka wala na akong trabaho, 'di ba? Hindi naman kasya yung pension ko, hindi kasya yung ganyan, 'di ba? Isipin mo 'yan pag nagkasakit ako, etc. Pero sa trading, wala kang isipin na retirement eh. Kasi nga, you will never retire. If you're a trader, you have a system, you are profitable, you will never retire.
Yun. Okay, but when you were traveling ba, nagbabakasyon ko, were you trading actively?
I still do trade kasi I usually trade on my cell phone.
Okay.
Kasi nga, I have a system eh. So it has an alert, nandun lahat eh.
Yes.
So, ang maganda nung nasa Europe ako, US session ako nakakapag-trade.
Yes, kasi sa time difference.
Kasi dito sa Philippines, alam mo naman,
gabi na.
Pag tito na, dapat alas 9, tulog ka na. So pag open ng US, tulog na ako dito.
Hindi mo na alam kung bakit ba, nabababa eh.
So majority of the time, pag nandito ako sa Philippines, tapos na ako mag-trade before the US session, not unless naipit ako. Pag naipit ako sa Asia or Europe session, abutin ako minsan ng US niyan bago ako malabas.
Okay.
Okay. Kasi yung market ng gold, pag naaral mo yan, if it goes up sa Asia, it corrects sa Europe, kung naipit ka man doon sa correction sa Asia, it goes back sa US. Ganun-ganun na yan sa US. Mabilis sa US eh.
Yep.
So, maganda nun, nandun ako sa Europe. US session yung natitrade ko.
Yes.
Sabi ko, ang sarap pala i-trade ng US session. Ang bilis kasi ng galaw. Kasi nga, I do scalping lang eh.
Yes. Nice. Okay.
Yung nga lang, I'm back here in the Philippines, so back to regular program. Katulad ngayon, wala pa akong trade kahit isa.
Mamaya, you're gonna be trading at night?
Depende kung merong kasi nga may alert ako eh.
Yes.
So pag may alert tapos tinignan ko, there's a compelling setup, I open its position. Ganun lang.
Ayun. Okay. Ano yung naka-alert mo ngayon?
Ano ko sa gold kasi, I'm looking at a possible reversal ulit ng gold pataas
Okay.
So, kung ma-break niya yung trend line niya pababa, probably I'll go long ulit.
Ayun.
Last time ko nag-short ng gold was February.
Yes. Pero after that, was it after that na tumama
After that,
siya?
umakyat eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Nag-all-time high eh.
Nag-hedge ako.
Okay.
Short ko ng February, akala ko bababa na eh. Sabi, short ko. Pag short ko, mali.
Oo.
So, dun sa system ko kasi, meron akong 3 risk management tool.
Okay.
Okay? So, first is yung DCA or layering.
Okay.
If the price goes against my first entry, I can layer. Okay? I can add. So, for example, naka-short ako, umakyat yung market, I can still add up to a certain level. Once na hindi ko naubos ko na yung first
Yes.
first risk management tool ko, na-maximize ko na siya. Ang next ko na doon is circuit breaker. Circuit breaker is 20% of my capital. If I'm losing 20% of my capital, I have to hit my circuit breaker. Pikit mata yan.
Kahit
Cut
anong
loss.
mangyari, out. Oo.
Cut loss. Of course, there will be times na minsan hindi mo makat. Okay? Kung hindi mo naabutan yung circuit breaker na yon, ang last ko is hedging.
Okay.
So, ini-hedge ko. So, last February, nag-hedge ako kasi nga naka-short ako. Umakyat. So, ang ginagawa ko lang, nag-hedge ako. Alam kong paakyat. So, now I trade paakyat na.
Oo.
Kasi trend following yung system ko eh.
Yes.
So, mabilis mo siya mabawi kung hinedge ko siya, and then by the end of the month, kasi start ng February yun, by the end of the month, nag-0-0 na yung position
Yes.
ko, meaning nabawi ko na yung capital ko, and then I close the hedge.
Okay.
Diba? But I seldom use that kung talagang kailangan
Kung
lang.
talagang emergency na, oo.
But I seldom use that. So, ganun siya. Ganun yung system na na-develop namin. So, most of the time, kasi nga it's trend following, we want to buy the dip. Kung paakyat siya, we do not chase it, lagi yan nagdi-dip eh.
Okay.
So, may alert yon pag nagdi-dip. Meron
Yes,
double buy or
yes.
triple buy alert yung system. So, pag nag-dip yan, papasok kami ng isa. Pag nag-dip pa, hanapin namin yung support. Alatag yon. Dagdag na naman doon.
Yun.
Pag talagang, ay mali, circuit breaker.
Okay.
Ganun siya. Pero majority of the time, because yung system nga, nasubukan na namin, ilang months na, no? No, more than a year ko na siya ginagamit sa gold eh. Kasi I've been trading gold since 2023. So, nasubukan ko develop yung system mga 2024. So, more than a year ginagamit ko na siya. So, yung trend following, very effective sa akin eh.
Wow.
So, yun lang. Sinusunod ko lang yung system.
That's awesome, Okay, so last but not least, just as if you could pick one indicator to use, as if it's only one na kailangan mong gamitin, which indicator would you use?
Tipay.
Kita
price action indicator.
I love it.
Nandun na lahat eh. Kinumbine ko na kasi doon yung moving average for the trend.
Okay.
Nandun na rin yung momentum.
Okay.
Makikita mo din doon kung may mga bullish engulfing candles, kung
Okay.
may breakout siya. So nandun na siya lahat. All you need to
love
do is to follow the system with the proper position size, good risk management. Most likely you're going to make it.
And where can I get the TIPI indicator?
You can go to my website, www.titovlogs.tv.
Yun, okay. Guys, that's it. Alam mo, Tito, we can always talk forever pag nag-usap tayo about crypto. No? Pero that's all the time we have for today, guys. At na-appreciate ko talaga yung time ni Tito Vlogs. At dahil nakabalik ka dito at nakwento mo na naman yung mga forecast mo for the year and for the coming years. And if you guys like this kind of podcast at yung mga ganitong usapan, please make sure to follow this YouTube channel. Ang handle ko dito is Crypto4Tan on YouTube. And thank you, Tito Vlogs, for sharing your wisdom again with us today. You want to share your socials before we go?
Yeah, follow me on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Tito Vlogs. Hanapin nyo lang yung Tito Vlogs. Baka yung poster yung ma-follow nyo ha. Yung maraming followers. Hindi ako yun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige. Salamat everyone. Thank you so much, Cito Vlogs. And I'll see you guys on the next Crypto Talk.